Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. I've got some breaking news for you tonight. They have to disclose where the PPP money is going to go, who got the loans. Before we get into it, though, please like, share, subscribe, share this with all your colleagues. You guys know the rules. Hit all the like buttons. We got a bunch of cool stuff happening this week, so please get those notifications as they're coming out. So, okay, like I said, breaking news. Okay, first things first, the Small Business Administration late Friday night released that they're finally going to let us know who got these PPP loans. Several news organizations went out and sued the SBA to have them disclose this. And remember, we talked about in the last video about GAO and how they had the rights to let people know who got this money, and they had to answer certain things. Well, without creating a real fuss in court, the SBA late Friday night determined that they're going to give us this information. So what they're going to do is they're going to start with loans that are above $150,000 or more. They're going to release this information in increments. So you're going to have $150,000 to $300,000, and it's going to go all the way up to the $5 million mark. Specific loans won't be disclosed, but they will group companies, information, and it'll be broken out by the loan sizes. Some stats: only 14% of the PPP loans are above $150,000, but they account for nearly 75% of the loans. So think about that. 14% of the loans are above $150,000. There's a tremendous amount of people that we will not find out about, which is fine. But a lot of these loans, 75% of them were above that figure. For loans below 150,000, they're only going to tell us based on the zip code, the industry that these people were in, the business type, and certain various demographics. We won't know things like employee size or things like that. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin had originally wanted to stop this, but you saw the heat in the last 2 weeks that the SBA has gotten, and they finally relented, and they're going to give these this loan information. There's been a total in the last week, I have stats through last week, there's been almost 5 million loans that have been given out for a total of over $520 billion right now. And there were 3.9 million loans that were under the $150,000 mark that total $136 billion. And almost 650,000 loans larger than that were $375 billion. The SBA is going to disclose the company names, the loan amounts, the business types, the demographic data, the number of jobs that were supported by this, other details. Can't wait to see what the other details are. Specific loans amounts per company won't be disclosed. So what they're going to just say is they're going to talk about these different categories. And so you're going to see 150,000 to 300,000. I've heard 300 to 500,000. It's going to go in increments of like 5 to 750, 750 to $1 million, on up to $5 million. So we're going to get to find this out. The highest category being between $5 and $10 million. The only thing bad about this is that, like talking to a family member, hey, I want to find out how much my company got, and if they're in the range between 500 and 750, she said, oh, well, I assume that they got 750,000. That's what they're going to see. So that's the other thing, is you're going to start to see companies that, competitors that maybe said that they had 100 employees that they're supporting. Oh, that guy's not that big. You're going to see a lot of this stuff come out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Now, Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who heads the Senate Subcommittee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, he supported the decision because so many people have asked for this information on EIDL loans, who's gotten them, who's gotten the PPP money, and his quote was, "The American people deserve to know how effective the PPP program was in protecting our nation's small businesses and the tens of millions of Americans they employ. That is the standard by which we must measure the success of the PPP program. How many paychecks were protected?" And Rubio said this yesterday on Friday. Now, here is the preposterous part of this whole breaking news thing. And that is, I've told everybody, because of the scale and how they keep changing the PPP program, you need to go back and look at the PPP program. You can get an EIDL loan and a PPP program, and we got a ton of stuff coming out this week, but they are thinking of having a new PPP program, okay? It's called P4, PPPP. So it's going to be called Prioritized Paycheck Protection Program, P4. This would allow businesses with fewer than 100 employees to apply for a second loan, okay? So if your business hasn't been jump-started during this time, you could go out and you could get some more dough, okay? So again, if you haven't applied for a PPP loan, if you're sitting there, it's you and the cat, or you and the dog, or you and the goldfish, and you haven't applied for this loan, go get this loan, okay? Because they're talking about a second round of this money, which is crazy, okay? So this loan program can show if you've had a 50% loss in revenue as a result of the COVID shenanigans. You have to have a business that needs to show that you need the money for payroll. And Senator Ben Cardin, who is the ranking member for that Senate Committee for Business and Entrepreneurship, said many small businesses will continue to struggle in the weeks and months to come. Congress must once again urgently act to support our most vulnerable small businesses through this crisis so our economy can recover as quickly as possible after the shenanigans. Every business we prevent from failing now is a business that will be in a position to thrive and create jobs in the recovery. The senators behind the bill also suggested that a lot of the businesses that are struggling to get these loans will make it easier to get the P4 loans. Again, you cannot make this stuff up. PPP, P4. So publicly traded companies are going to be ineligible. It's about time for that. You're going to have people with multiple locations are going to be ineligible for this. And the aggregate loan amount will be no more than $2 million. The bill would also set aside less than $25 billion or 25% for PPP funds with employers that have less than 10 employees. So guys, the solopreneurs, you got one or two people in the shop with you, apply for this money, okay? I spoke to my IT guy today, and I just sent him a flurry of things to get him going on, because he hadn't applied for some of this stuff yet. And I guess he's not a fan of the channel, so he needs to like and subscribe. The bill also will issue a guidance for people to follow on how to get PPP forgiveness, and they're extending the loan offers. So again, breaking news, they have to give us all this information, which is huge because this will play into the EIDL loans, okay? They're going to have to give us this information in the EIDL loans. We're going to have to find out who got what. You're going to find out that everything's out of order. Wait till you see what's coming up this week. I got some great things for you, but they're going to have to disclose loan amounts. You're going to see that this person applied on this date and this person applied 2 weeks later. I had somebody that sent me a message that they applied on a Monday for the EIDL loan and were funded by Friday this week. So read the comments below, because it is insane if that's true, okay? So good luck to everybody. Don't give up. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon, okay? Thank you for everything.